One, two, three, four, five. Okay, we are live. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Into the Night Bigfoot Paranormal Talk Radio. Researcher from what's your state, Tanya?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay. So it's a lot of Bigfoot action down there, as most people in the Bigfoot community know. And for some of you all who don't know, it's a lot of action in Kentucky. Um, can you tell your town, Tanya?
Ashland.
Uh,
Ashland.
um,
Yeah.
your, your town,
Ashland.
Ashland. Okay. All right. Kind of like your last name. So, um, all right. So let me ask you this. How did you first become interested in uh Bigfoot? How old were you? Um,
It started in the 70s with Legend of Boggy Creek. I was little then, but that's how it started, and I've had a lifelong interest in it. So, yeah.
okay. Um, were you a child, a teenager, a
I was
young
like,
adult?
when the movie came out,
Hmm.
you mean?
Hmm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we didn't lose Tanya. Tanya, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Um, so were you a child, a preteen, teenager, adult, young adult when you
When
became
I
in?
got into the research part, is that
Hmm.
what you're asking?
Yes.
2011.
Okay. Okay. So you saw Boggy Creek as a kid, and that
Hmm.
and that just got you interested. So you were interested, but
It
then you
scared me
started your
to death.
oh, it's, it's a good movie though. And I love the movie poster for it. It's so like I don't know if you saw the movie, but I don't know if you know they still have the poster floating around online.
I've not
And
seen that movie.
you did not see it?
No.
Oh, I thought you did say you saw it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Legend of Boggy Creek, yeah, but you mentioned one I didn't recognize. I
Oh,
forgot what.
no, no, we're on the same page. Legend of Boggy
Okay.
Creek. Yeah. Um, they got the best movie poster for that. It's a beautiful sunset, and it has this thing. You can tell it's the Boggy Creek monster, but it's like a black silhouette. It's not like all detailed. You know
I've
how they
seen it.
right.
Yeah.
It's so a lot of people. I don't know if they can. I consider it tranquil. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to get a big one for my wall because it just relaxes you. Because the sunset is so beautiful on it.
I
But
like it
anyway,
too.
yeah, and I think they have one where it's the Boggy Creek Monster solo, but then they have the Boggy Creek Monster with a child. I think it has like a baby Boggy Creek Monster. So
I've
anyway,
not seen. I'm not seeing that one.
well, I'll send that one to you. You'll see. It's
Oh,
real nice, really nice. Um, so 2011, young adult, you became interested in it. Did you when you started? Was it because of an incident that happened, or was it just because you wanted to do it? Like, you just said, "Okay, well, I wanna see what's out there," or was it like an incident happened and you were like, "Uh-oh, I
it
gotta"
was a big time curiosity
Okay.
and lifelong interest since the late 70s or early 80s when I seen that movie.
Mhm.
But the 2011 is when I got into the research part.
Okay. What what kept you from getting into from 2011 before 2011? What was stopping you?
Well, I didn't know that there was groups on Facebook that
Mhm.
had, about the subject. Not until 2011 actually is when I found out that there was groups, lots of groups on Facebook about it. So
Mhm.
I started going into the groups and chatting with people. I used to be very active in the groups.
Mhm.
Now I'm not so much, but yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, that sounds okay. Sounds cool. Um Was there um was there like anything, a memorable experience and significant experience? Was there anything that was really cool? Was it something that frightened you when you were researching? And did you research solo, or was it with like family, friends, or people you admire?
It was me and my son.
Okay, okay. Does he believe?
Oh, yeah, he's seen them more than I have probably.
Okay. Um, did you have to go far from home, or was it like in your town, or
It's not in
w-
Ashland, it's the next county over,
okay,
Carter County, a matter of fact, and, I started going out and doing the field work, like, in 2014,
okay, okay,
but I was in the active in the groups and everything starting 2011 to 2014. I
okay.
started
That's
actually, I can remember really good, it was May of 2014 when I found my first track,
oh
and,
great.
that was when I first started, so I got lucky.
Right, true, true. Because it can take a long time to get those tracks.
Well, it was
That's
older track,
okay.
I mean, but you could still tell I got a picture of it.
Oh, great. Okay, and we'll put that up. Because I think you're in the Facebook groups, right? I think you're in my Facebook group. So we'll
I
put that
am.
up. Okay, so we'll put that in the we'll put that up if you don't mind. We'll put that up in the group.
Yeah, well,
Um,
right now, I don't know where it's at. It's on my Facebook somewhere.
okay. Well, if you get time and you find it, no rush, and just when you get time, and just send it over to the group, and you can put it up, or send it to me, or whatever you prefer, whatever's easier for you.
Let me go.
Uh, um, w- so it wasn't okay. So that's good. So it wasn't like a horrible experience, and then like, because that's how some people get into it. It's like a horrible experience, or but I kind of like the way you've gotten into it. Was more like you started off with Boggy Creek, then you started off with the Facebook groups, and then you came into getting out in the field. It's good, nice transition. You know, was it being involved in it, because it can become an obsession. I know I went through it myself. It's addictive. It's like it can be addictive. It's like a drug. Um, was it something where you could kind of do it and then still have time for home and family, or was it something where you were just out there so much, or started to cause any type of problems? Uh oh. Oh no. Oh, we didn't lose time. Just getting started. Darn. Let's see. Oh boy. Tanya?
Yeah, I'm on.
Lost you. Darn, I had a good question for you too. Did you hear the question by any chance?
Any significant
Right.
encounters?
N-
There's been a lot of them. I don't know where
let's-
to begin, actually.
Well, let's start from your first sighting. What happened on your first sighting?
My first sighting, I was at the state park in the county over from me, and, it was me and my son, and we was in the car, and I went around a sharp curve. It was a two-lane road, and, I mean, this curve was like a horseshoe
Okay.
shape, and I just so happened I looked up on the hill, and, there was a jet black one there. I'm guessing this, around 8 to um I couldn't see any features because it just jet black,
Hmm.
and, I went what was crazy was I went to get my camera to try to get it on camera,
Hmm.
and there was cars approaching me in the back, and I had to move, so I
Okay.
lost my opportunity.
Okay. Darn. But I totally understand that. My first eye to eye, it was like that, where it was just totally dark, and I was in the woods, and I could just see the eyes. So I know how you feel.
This was
Um,
daytime, of course, like around 4 or 5 in the evening. I remember it really well.
okay. But it so what it was, and it was jet black?
Yes. You couldn't see features or anything, but I was good ways off, kinda. Not too far, but I don't know how many yards it was.
Mhm.
I never did measure because it's right and right behind it is the hill where I seen it, and right on the bottom of the hill is like a state park, office.
Mhm.
So I think it was a part of that, the office. I didn't wanna trespass, just in case. I didn't want 'em to see me, and they'd be wondering what I'm doing, so I didn't go up there and measure anything or
Okay. That's fine. That's okay. So it's kind of odd. As a matter of fact, I just ran a video. I got one of them, and it's like they're totally pitch black. It's almost like they're absorbing the light around them. It's really weird where you can't see the features.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So I just recently got one. Actually, I was coming from Ohio
Oh, yeah,
into
it's an active place.
yeah, Ohio, through Pennsylvania. I went through the mountains of Pennsylvania, and then to Maryland. And I think once I got through the as soon as I got into the Maryland state line, went ahead and, stopped. I made a pit stop or whatever, and I was, uh, doing a number 1 in some bushes, and I looked up and one of 'em was staring. So I got the video, but
Oh,
it's like
wow.
yeah, it's you can see it. It's almost like they're absorbing the light around them or something. It's really
I'd love to
strange.
see that.
Mhm. Um, has it Has it affected you in any way? Like, is it something where you have a balance, or has it become addictive? Because for a lot of people, I've heard some people can be addicted to it. Has it been
I was
something where you
obsessive. I got
oh,
obsessed with it.
okay. Well, you just answered that.
Yeah.
Oh, um, was it obsession where it was like, well, I don't have time for anything but this, and it started to create problems for you? Was it something where it was okay? Well,
It was a hobby, an obsession,
mhm,
I enjoyed it.
mhm.
I've had good encounters and I've had bad.
What was one of your bad ones?
There's been a few. I'll talk about the night I had to call the police because it got that bad, the activity around my house.
Mhm,
And I called the police, hoping that would run them off,
mhm.
and it did. Well, it did, and then they come right back like 10 minutes later. And
Mm,
I was in my living room, and it's on the same side where my bathroom is, where they would come around my bathroom.
mhm,
And I heard them, and it sounded like they was almost surrounded me from, of course, outside. But um, I was fearful. I mean, scared to death, more like it. I didn't know what they wanted with me, and I
mhm,
still don't. Um, so I was afraid at night, scared to death, to go in my bathroom.
mhm,
And I was scared, actually. I mean, I lived by myself for a little while,
mhm,
and it made it so much worse, being by myself and having to handle it by myself.
mhm,
And I was very fearful. That night, the first night it happened. And there was one I seen,
mhm,
and I don't know, I didn't see the face. What happened was I went on my porch
mhm,
and I heard my name being called,
mhm. They will
like a,
do that,
a
yeah.
whispery Tanya or Tanya, like that. And it kept repeating my name.
Mhm,
And I seen there's a fence in my carport, and it was standing right in the opening of the beside the fence. And the belly button, the fence is about 5.5, 6 foot tall. The
mhm.
belly button of it was even with almost the top of the fence.
Oh, goodness, so the legs
Yeah.
alone were like 5 foot something
Well,
up to the
finally
waist.
that night, the kitchen window. This is the next part of it. That same night, I was in my kitchen. I had to go in there, and I was so aggravated. It turned to where I was aggravated, and I basically told them not to do certain things around my house that they was doing. For example, looking through my windows,
Mhm.
crawling under my bathroom floor.
Oh, no.
My underpinning got tore out. I got a picture of it, and
Oh,
one had went under my bathroom floor. Must have been a
what?
juvenile. I'm not kidding. And
That is crazy.
well, I went in the kitchen. It's facing my backyard,
Mhm,
and I told them not to do those two things, and it quit. They quit
mhm,
doing it. So if you ask them, and I
mhm.
spoke out loud, if you ask them, they will most likely, you know,
Mm,
not do
listen
it.
to you? Okay.
Yeah.
When you had spoke out, was it daytime or nighttime, or were you on your porch
It
outside, or did you just
it was, I went from the porch to, um, the living room. It's on the same side of the house as the bathroom and the kitchen,
Mhm,
and then it took place in my kitchen. I just walked in my kitchen and I basically told them
mhm,
because I was fearful, and I told them they're scaring me. Is what I
mhm.
said, and to calm down. And, I had to, and that night is the night in between the well, I don't wanna confuse you,
No, it's fine. I'm with you.
in between the incident, I had called the police because before I spoke to them,
Mhm,
I called the police, and I was hoping that would run them off, and it did for a few minutes, and then they came back. So that
oh,
didn't work. So I had to take it matters in my own hands and just
uh-oh.
talk to them.
Okay, okay.
And another freaky thing that happened that night when I spoke to them,
Mhm,
and this is hard to believe, but it really happened. I was in my kitchen and there was an air conditioner in my kitchen
mhm,
window, and there was a shade pulled down so I couldn't see outside. And when told them what I said, they he or she was breathing so heavy that
mhm,
my shade was moving. It literally the breath of it went through my air conditioner and was moving my shade that
mhm,
was pulled down over my window. And my kitchen window is around 10 foot off the ground.
mhm. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So that was the scariest probably for
Mhm,
me.
okay.
And
Uh,
I also have dog men that come around, and they usually growl at me every time around my house, and it makes me uncomfortable.
and you know what's so funny? Before we even start the show, that was on my mind to ask you for some reason about the Dogman thing. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but something was like, Ask Tanya about Dogman." Um, but let me ask you this, when you had told the cops about it, did they
No, I didn't tell them
Oh,
what was going on.
oh,
No,
oh,
I
you
was too
just said
afraid to.
okay,
I just told the cops, check around my house because I keep hearing noises, but that was it. I didn't say what I thought it
okay,
was, and all that. I didn't want them to, think I was
right,
crazy.
right, because
So I
not
kept that
everybody
quiet.
okay,
Oh, I forgot to mention back in 2014 when I started doing my field research,
mhm.
I was followed home. I was gifting them food, and
That's what I wanted to ask you. Okay,
I was followed home.
mhm,
And I'm talking, this is 30 miles from my house,
okay.
around 30 miles. So I'm assuming they tracked me somehow back to my house.
Well,
I don't
they
know
can
how,
pick up your scent.
I don't really know how they do that, but they did.
Mhm, by your scent. They can watch you. It's just like a human being that stalks you. They can watch you, piece together information that they need. I mean, not tech not tech-wise like we do, but they can pick up your scent. I habituate, but I don't have the problems a lot of people have, I mean, I guess fortunately, unfortunately. Um, But let me ask you this: when you were gifting them, when they followed you home, were you driving home?
No, well, no, I drove there and back,
Okay.
but, I was followed home, and how I knew, it took me a while to catch on. My son said he seen a werewolf out when he was looking out the window one night,
Mhm.
and it had red glowing eyes,
Mhm.
and I didn't know what to think about that, so
Mhm.
I kinda brushed it aside. I thought, he was a little kid then, and I thought, "Well, he's just got wild imagination." Um, and then he seen one out in the cemetery behind my house. I live in front of a huge cemetery.
They love
He
cemetery.
seen one out there. He come running in the house. He was playing out back and daytime, of course. And he said, "Mom, I seen a Bigfoot statue in the cemetery."
Mhm.
And I said, "What?" And he told me again. And till this day,
Mhm.
I ask him on occasion about that, and his story has always been the same with his encounters that he's had where he's actually seen them.
Mhm.
They showed him themselves to him in the beginning, but not me really. Not very often. A couple of times
Mhm.
back in 2014.
Um,
They never left. I mean, they are here to stay pretty much. It's been from 2014 all the way till now. So I've not counted how long it's been, but it's been
it's a
often.
long time. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
long time. Do do you think do you think that they're physically, or how do you feel about them? Do you think it's kind of a spiritual, mystical thing that they are? Do you feel that they are in and out of your, like, off of your property and they go to another time or place, or
Yeah,
do you feel that they're
dimension.
okay? So you do. Okay, so they don't have to directly be living there. It's just that they can kind of come, do their thing, and then they go to their next onto.
Well, they're really good about cloaking, and when I say that, it's like around here it's invisible. And how I know that, late at night I go here, go sit on my porch and I film the sky.
Mhm.
And I know it sounds crazy, but what I was doing was filming the full moon, every full moon.
Mhm.
And I've seen stuff in the sky, and at the same time, not every time, but often I would hear them in my backyard.
Okay.
And so I was having UFO sightings and activity at the same time. I know
Mm.
it sounds crazy. So I
No, no,
believe
no. I mean, no, I believe.
it sounds crazy, but I believe they have a connection with that.
Mhm. I think so too. I don't think
Yeah,
it's crazy. I think they're connected. I think even if they're, I don't know if they're all involved with each other uh because they want to be, but I do believe that, like, for example, when Bigfoot comes, even if he's not purposely involved with the UFO alien thing or the dogman thing, I think it's just a fact that somehow they're all connected.
they
You
are.
know,
They
they
are.
are. You know. Do you?
Uh, Also, I was going. Let's go back to the
Mhm.
porch situation where I would go out there and film the full moon and everything. Well,
Okay.
there's been two occasions that they were invisible,
Mhm.
but I heard them and making noise and real kind of close to me. There was
Mhm.
one in the front of me across the road, one on the side of my house on the left hand side, and then one around my carport on the other side of the house on my
Mhm.
right hand side. And when I looked, this sounds crazy. I know say that a
No.
lot, but this is crazy. But when I
No.
looked, I seen a shadow figure
Mhm.
around my carport. I looked, and the carport is better in view. I can't see the other side of the house where I heard them.
Okay.
And I couldn't see in the front, but when I looked around the carport, where I heard the noise, I seen a shadow figure, like a shadow person, it looked
Mhm.
like,
Okay.
and that was unusual. I don't know what that was about.
Okay. So, oh goodness. So you have a lot. You have a big situation going on. You have like the Adams family going on because
Oh,
you have
yeah.
the UFOs, you have the Dogman, you have the Bigfoot, you have the shadow people. Do you do you think the shadow person was the Bigfoot cloaking, or do you really think that it was a shadow being?
Well, I think it was a dog man because they're shapeshifters.
Okay. Excuse me.
They
Okay.
change shape, really. I've seen it in people's
Mhm.
videos, and I've kinda witnessed it myself. Um, but I think they can change shape, they're shapeshifters.
Okay.
Sasquatch, on the other hand, I don't know about that.
Do, well, let me ask you this. Do, you haven't had or have you had an alien encounter, or have you just seen the ships? Uh, the UFOs.
Well, there was briefly, for like 2 seconds, I
Mhm.
seen one I've been sleeping on the couch lately, and just 2 weeks ago, I guess, I seen one at the end of my couch where my feet was, and,
Oh,
oh, by the way, they also come in my house, the Sasquatch does.
when they come in, is it like a ethereal
They're
form?
invisible.
Like
They're invisible.
okay. Do they do you feel anything unusual or uncomfortable, or do you like how
They
or
touch
did
me
it?
sometimes on my head, on
Mhm,
my shoulder, my back.
mhm,
Um, I'm assuming that it was one doing that, and, I mean, I've had so many weird things happen.
Well,
But you can hear noises in my house,
mhm,
and that's how I know, the noises they make I'm familiar with, and I can hear them inside the house. That's how I know they're, around in my house. And when I used to sleep in my bedroom, I heard one get in my face. They mimic birds around here at like 12 at night, birds
mhm,
that you hear in the daytime.
mhm,
And they mimic a puppy dog, like whimpering.
mhm,
Well, one got in my face and woke me up whimpering like a little puppy and going through my
mhm,
house whimpering like a
mhm,
puppy.
mm. Oh goodness, now you're kind of oh goodness, you got a lot going on. You're like, do 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 you ever think, hey, this is just maybe a ghost and not Bigfoot, or are you do you really
Well,
feel that it
of
is
course,
Bigfoot?
of course, I consider that first because I live in front of a large cemetery, and I automatically thought that. But
Mhm,
I'm familiar with their noises they make, and I'm hearing that inside my house. That's
mhm,
how I know they're around in the
okay,
house. And it's not often,
mhm,
but it happens.
okay, mm. Okay, so man, that's a lot of action, Tanya. Um, mm, is there? Let me think. Because you had a lot more. I didn't know you had all this. I knew about the Bigfoot, and I
There's
was.
there's many, I mean, many incidents of this. Um, from 2014 on, I've had many incidents.
Okay,
But
how
my
do you?
son, like in the beginning in 2014, like I said, my son seen them often when we were
Mhm,
there at the state park.
okay.
So
How old is he? I'm forgot to ask you that.
he just turned 17 yesterday.
Okay, so okay. Is he okay with all this, or does it freak him out? Is it affecting him? How does he deal with all this?
It one time he was scared.
Mhm,
His bedroom is in the back of the house facing the backyard, right? Well, one night he was little then. I don't know what year it was in between. I'm guessing uh, maybe 2015, 20 no, it might be in 2014. I don't. But he said he heard a werewolf in the cemetery that's out back in my
mhm,
house, and he was crying, and it I believed him.
mhm,
I never seen him fearful except that one time.
mhm. One time. Okay, so he's a pretty brave kid.
He is,
He's a pretty brave kid. Yeah.
but he's grown out that stage where he had the interest. He's more into playing video games and girls and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
hopefully
That's
he'll get into it when he's older. I'm
mhm,
hoping he will.
right. That's something. Isn't that only a kid? Can you imagine he has all this going on and he'd rather play a video game?
I don't. He keep well.
Mhm,
The thing of it with him, he keeps his headphones in his ear
mhm.
all the time. So he don't
Oh,
hear what's going on. When he's playing video games, he wears his headphones. Even
right.
when he's mowing grass, he has his headphones in,
Headphones.
so he
That's
don't
cute.
hear what I hear. At
Oh,
least
that's
at least he's not mentioned anything to me about except down in the basement. He kept hearing banging noises in my basement.
okay.
And
That's
the way my basement is, it's on the same side where the bathroom and living room is, where I've stayed. And it would be in the daytime. And I don't
okay.
know what that was. I have no idea. But that was really the only noises said he heard.
Mhm,
And it was right under my kitchen I mean, it's under my kitchen, the basement, and how you enter my basement's from the outside.
mhm.
That's the
Okay.
only occasion, besides the howling that you heard in the cemetery. That's been the only thing that kinda creeped him out, and
Okay.
terrified him and scared him with the howling. I
That
still don't know what the banging was, but
do, do you feel how are you dealing with it now since you've had all this happen? So is it because you can usually you can adjust. I always believe that God can allow us as long as it's not physical torture or something. I always believe that God can usually allow us to adjust to almost anything, no matter how crazy it is.
what
How are
was the
you?
question?
I was saying, how are you adjusting to all this? Like, does it affect your sleep? Does it affect? Do you?
No, I'm used to it more so now.
Okay,
I mean, I've had many years of getting used to it.
right. All right. It seems like you got a lot of friends around there, young lady.
Yes.
Um, let's see. Do you do you still go out to the research area, even though it seems like now they're around your home? Because now, do you still go
Well,
back? Or-
I would stay in a cabin once a
Mhm,
year at Christmas time and cook dinner there and
mhm.
everything, and, I've heard them outside the cabin,
Okay,
but that's where I guess their home is.
okay,
Um, but the last time I was there was 2 years ago
okay. So it's been a while.
because well, the reason why, I mean, I don't have to drive that 30 miles to get to my research area when I have the activity going on here at home.
Okay,
So
that's true. Yeah, that's why I was asking. I didn't know because I know some people, since they already have them on their property, then they'll go ahead and just deal with them there. And then some people have to travel, like you had to travel far to do research. And then some people will do both. They'll have them on their property, but they still go and research with other people. So I didn't know. Some people take it easy. I guess you could say take it easy.
well, the thing of it is my son's not interested in anymore, and I have nobody to research with at the state
Right.
park. So,
Right.
that's another reason why, I quit going. I mean, I'll go up there maybe
Mhm.
camping this fall around September, October,
Mhm.
Um, just for camping, and also if I hear any noises or anything, yeah, I pay attention.
That's cool.
Um, I've they whistled at me once,
Mhm.
no more than once at the state park.
Okay. So maybe they want you to kinda hang out with them a little bit,
Well,
maybe.
the campground, they was out in the woods, near the campground, and I was tent camping,
Mhm.
and, I heard a whistle, a loud whistle, and I'm surprised the people there camping didn't hear that, or I didn't hear. People were asleep at that time, it was that late at night.
Mhm.
And then other time, I was driving up the hill to the state park where I would go, and they whistled at me, and it was next to the road, the highway. Well,
Mhm.
it's a two-lane road, but they whistled at me that time, and I just smiled because I knew what it was making that noise, you know?
Mhm. Well, that's good, so at least you had some people around, you know? It wasn't like you were by yourself.
Well, that day I was driving by myself. I forgot what I was doing that day,
Mhm.
but I was by myself that day. I remember.
But I can see why why they want you around. Your voice, and I'm sure the people listening, your voice for some reason is unusually comfortable.
Oh,
Like you just
really?
yes, it's relaxing. I've talked to a few people on here, but your voice is so relaxing. It's like it's just it relaxes you. You can
Yeah.
yeah, so I can definitely understand why they want you to be around, especially if you're talking to them.
Well, I have
Um,
that country Eastern, Kentucky accent.
yeah, oh, it's great. Um, what? How do you discuss this with any family or friends other than your son?
No, gosh, no. My family
Okay.
wouldn't understand. No, I mean, well, I did tell my mom in the beginning,
Mhm,
in 2014 again. That was a big year for me. I
mhm,
told my mom that I showed her pictures. I called them on video and I done screenshots of them, of the videos to get pictures.
mhm.
And I showed mom a couple of pictures and she said, "That's a bear." I said, "Mom, bears don't," I said, "Mom, bears don't stand on 2 feet.
Mhm.
Can't you see that?" And she said, "No." So that was the end of that.
That's all right. Mom's been around enough. She can believe what she wants to believe.
She's into the paranormal, but she's not into Bigfoot.
Isn't that something though? Isn't that strange though? How some
She don't
people.
know nothing about it much,
Mhm.
but she does think they're ETs.
Oh, the Bigfoot and
She
Dogman.
she seen I was wearing a Bigfoot shirt,
Mhm,
um, one night, and she seen it, and she said it had a Bigfoot and it had an alien holding hands. They were holding hands,
mhm.
and, she said, "I think, they're ETs. That's why they've not been caught."
Mm.
And it makes sense. It really
What?
does.
Well, you know, it's funny you said something about that, and you said not being caught. There was a story a long time ago online, or I don't know I don't know if it was. I guess it was the event. This woman had them on her property, but she said when they passed away that the Starman would come get them. The Starman.
Oh,
That's why we never have the bones or the body.
mhm.
And when
Yeah.
she said that, it kind of does make sense when you think about it, because you know, I mean, we don't know. Maybe the government or somebody does have a body, but for the average person, nobody has a body. Nobody has a picture or video of a deceased one or one dying. So maybe their connection with the
I think
aliens.
they live a long time,
Hmm. Yeah, I think
um,
so too.
because they're healers. They can heal
Hmm.
themselves.
Hmm.
They're spiritual, that's how I know. They can heal themselves and they can heal people,
Hmm.
and I don't know what else, but, they healed me, Um, there was a couple of incidents of that, and that's how I know. Um,
Did
yeah, it's really weird stuff.
can you tell your ailment, or is that private, what you were healed of?
Oh, well, I had emphysema,
Okay,
and this has only been 2 years ago,
okay.
and I was coughing constantly, and, they come in my house. One come I'm assuming it was one that come in my house. I didn't know it. They're invisible in my house. And I felt something on my back,
Mhm,
like a sensation I can't explain, but I felt something on my back.
mhm.
And after that incident, well, they touched me and I felt pure, strong love.
Mm,
After that
okay.
was done, the healing part, they we who female or male, I don't know, but they touched my back and I felt that pure, strong, strong sensation of love.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, they're healing. They can heal themselves and they can heal people, like us, of course. But
Mhm.
that was one incident, and there was another, but I don't want to really go into that.
Okay, gotcha, understood. Okay, well, that's cool. I mean, at least, we got to hear one of your, health situations. Um, man, that's crazy. But it's exciting.
Well,
It's so
after the healing, I quit coughing, and I've not coughed since,
that's
and I don't
good.
have that cough. So yeah, I'm healed from it.
That's great. Do you smoke or have you smoked?
No, I vape now. I quit smoking
Okay.
just due to that. I'm 49, and this has been just 2 years ago. I think it's
Okay.
been kind of recent,
Okay.
but I do vape, and I plan
Mhm.
on quitting that eventually too. So
Mhm. Well, let me ask you this about the vaping. Is it true? Like they always say now here they have, well, they've been saying it for a few years now. They're like the vape has something crazy in it, like chemicals and all that.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
It has nicotine in it still, like cigarettes.
What?
It
I thought that
says
was
on the box, the ones
uh,
I bought, it contains nicotine.
isn't that but I thought the vape was supposed to help people to,
No, it's
get
got
off the
nicotine. The ones I have, and I got like 10 different ones,
Mhm.
'cause I got them on sale, and they all say, it contains nicotine.
Okay. Well, I guess it's good I guess it's better that you're vaping now. Even I heard now one of my buddies, he told me the box of cigarettes are going up. I don't smoke, but he was just the price was crazy. I think
It's
now.
like $6 a pack of cigarettes. That's expensive. The
But when you
cheapest the cheaper brand, you might can get it for 4 something around here,
Mhm.
but usually on average, like Marlboro, I can't pronounce it,
Marlboro.
um, that's around $6 around here. It's just
So the
too
box.
expensive.
But what about like the big box? Like I'll see the guys out and they'll be like, "Hey, you want to buy a box?" And I say, "No, thank you. No, I don't smoke." But the box is like $60 or more. Is it
I
like the
don't
whole that big one?
I used to buy boxes like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay, so
Um,
times have changed, price change.
yeah, the prices went up big time.
Okay, so everybody out there don't smoke. Do your best.
No, just
Oh.
I've been smoking since, I was 17 years old.
Oh, not you. I'm just telling everybody that's listening. Don't smoke. Don't smoke. Um,
Well, I don't
let's
the vaping, but I just started that a few months ago.
okay. Do you feel better vaping?
Oh, yeah, my lungs don't feel heavy.
Mhm.
Um, I can tell a big difference. It's good. It's all good.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's a good thing. Uh, what was it that what was the moment when you were like, "This is real. Like, this is no more just me guessing or thinking about it." W
Oh, yeah, I know that one. I know the answer to that one.
Okay.
It was last summer of, 2023. Um, I was outside filming again, the sky, and everything, and, it was a full moon, of course, and I heard heavy, heavy breathing on the bathroom side of the house, right on the corner, and I was on the steps of my porch,
Mhm,
and it was only a few feet from me, and no denying it, it was I don't know if it was a dog man or I don't know if it was a Sasquatch, but heavy breathing, and it hit the side of my house, not hard, and it kinda creeped me out, so I, calmly got up and just walked in the house.
mhm.
I didn't wanna show fear.
Right.
So, that was when I thought to myself, "This is real." I
Mhm,
mean, big time real.
mhm, mm. Okay, so that was the time that you felt, you know. Um, is there trying to think. Well, since you don't really discuss it with well, you discuss it with your Facebook groups, right? You have your outlet there, and then
Well, no, I was active in the beginning, but nowadays it's rare that I post. Like
mhm,
in your group, like yesterday, I think it was, I post
mhm,
or today, you
okay.
asked, where,
Oh, the
was
state,
everybody from, and I put Kentucky,
right?
I do go in your group from time to
Thank
time and stuff, but, it's rare for me to post in a group nowadays.
you. Mhm.
In the last few years, I've kinda slacked off. Since 2020, I've slacked off
Okay.
because I started having the really crazy experiences, and I didn't wanna talk about it with nobody. I was afraid people would think I was just nuts.
Oh,
And
well,
so I kept it secret for a year about the UFO Sasquatch connection.
mhm,
I kept it secret.
mhm.
So I was afraid to tell anybody. I didn't tell nobody. I kept it secret, and finally, somebody in a group, I just so happened to be in one day. I forgot what group it was. Um, Somebody asked, have you watched the documentary on YouTube? It's the Bigfoot UFO connection. You can watch it
Oh,
free on YouTube.
as a matter of fact, let me might be able to whip that up real quick. Um, it was called it's the Bigfoot UFO connection, and
I
I
think
know what
it's
you're
what
talking
it
about.
was called, but it's a
Okay,
documentary and it's very interesting.
okay, okay. Bigfoot UFO connection. Let me see if it comes
Mhm.
up.
And
Uh,
it explains it really well.
all right. Hmm. That's strange. The only thing I got was the missing 411 the UFO connection. But I think I seen it. I think I have seen it. But I'll find it. Do you I'm trying to think cuz everything seems kind of pretty it's crazy what's going on with you, but at the same
Yeah,
time
yeah,
um it's it's manageable. You know, it's not outrageous where, you know, w-
yeah.
but it's manageable. Manageable
Yes,
so
and
far.
now it is. I've got more used to it.
Mhm. Okay. Um do do you feel do you feel that that they're more it seems like from what I've seen, that they're more like, comfortable with women. Seems like once you put a woman there, it's like, bam, they just you
They
know, they're
take they take interest in men and women, but I think they feel more comfortable with women and children because they exposed themselves to my son. He was young then, 7 or 8 years old, I think. I
Mhm.
I forgot, but, they exposed themselves to my son, and I think they like watching kids play.
Mhm.
Um, w at the state park, there's a playground, and my son, I would take him there when we'd research when we was done, I would take him there and let him play on the swings and slide and everything.
Mhm.
And I was videoing. I mean, I'm big time into video, when I'm, at the park. And there
Mhm.
was one I captured on video in a tree watching us,
Mm.
watching him play, and I was sitting down on a bench.
Okay.
And yeah, and I've heard stories about them, stories like that, about them liking, to watch, children play.
How do you feel about that? Isn't it is that kinda creepy or, like, stalkerish or,
Well,
like
back then, years when my son was young, he was playing one night through the house. He was running through the house with the dog.
okay.
And he come in the living room where I was at, and I seen him, but oh gosh, no, this makes the second time he's been afraid.
Mhm.
Um, he's seen big red or big green eyes looking through the kitchen window,
Mhm.
and it startled him real bad, and he crawled up with me. I was laying on the couch. He crawled up with me and took my arm and put it around him. And I said, "Ashton, what's wrong?" And he said, I s well, the next day he wouldn't tell me, and then the next day he told me, and I said, "Well, what did it look like?
Mhm.
What did they look like?" And he picked up a light bulb I had on the table, and he said, "They were this big."
Okay.
And it was eyes, he said, glowing green eyes.
Okay. So it was like, okay, big glowing green eyes. Okay.
That was when they used to look through the windows.
That is wow. That's just so wild. Um, it it's weird with it seems like the women ramp up because, like, with your situation, and I'm glad we're talking because you and I have talked, but we didn't really, get in depth like this, get really deep. But it just seems like it's something about the women and children because
It is.
uh my
That
part
night oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt.
no, it's
Go
fine.
ahead.
No, 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 you go. You go.
No, go ahead.
Um when my 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 partner, he had a situation, my hiking partner, where he had taken his wife to a cabin. They stayed in an active area, and he went to
Mm,
go night hiking because we've done that before together. But it was just a trip with him and his wife. I won't say his name because that's his business, but uh, they went and he went night hiking. But instead of them messing with him, like you would think, okay, they'd follow him and mess with him while he's out. The wife was in the cabin and they would be knocking on the cabin and they wanted to get around her. So he got some great tracks, some really, really good tracks. But it was just so weird. You would think, well, if I'm out and I'm night hiking, obviously they'll probably have more fun or whatever they decide to do with me. Not me, but him. And then, they'll follow him and do what they, rocked on or howling or hooting or whatever. Um,
they when we stayed Christmas at the cabin at the park,
mhm.
they wouldn't hit the cabin, but they would I would record. I'd put a little recorder, on the back deck of facing the woods. I would put a recorder out there, and one night I captured audio of, one walking through the leaves. And it was heavy, it was big, you could tell it was because it was, walking, stomping through the leaves.
Okay.
Um, I got a recording of that, but I have no idea where it's at. I have
Um,
no idea. I think I lost the recording actually.
okay. Don't worry, we'll put you in the thundercloud. Hold on to your Bigfoot evidence stuff because there's a lot of people that lose their stuff. A lot of people. You'd be surprised. A lot of people that do some really good stuff.
I have some
Uh,
good pictures of I don't mean to change the subject, but I have some really
no, it's
good
fine.
pictures of, of them, and in 2 or 3 of them, they're screenshots off my videos.
Okay.
There's a I call it a pink creature, and it's not a Sasquatch, it's not a dog man. It looked alien-like. I mean, but I have no idea what it
Mm,
was. It had horns or ears on top of its head. It was pinkish. It didn't have hair on it. It was skin, I
mhm.
guess I could show the picture, it shows it. You just have to see the picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely.
I'll d I'll definitely send them to you.
Okay. Definitely check them out. And see, because yeah, a few people have had strange, strange entities or things around it. Like I said before, when Bigfoot comes out, even if he doesn't want to deal, he or she doesn't want to deal with all the hoopla. It
Mhm.
seems like the rest of the gang comes. You have the aliens,
Oh,
the
yeah.
UFOs, you have the dog man, and then you have the shadow people, and then you have just
I
entities. Then
got
you got crazy.
I got so much stuff going on, and it never gets boring around here. With paranormal, I never seen a ghost until 2012,
Mhm,
and I seen a little boy in my house, and it was solid figure. I didn't see details, the face well, I did see the face,
mhm,
but it was a little boy,
mm.
and it was creepy. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've seen orbs in my house.
Mhm.
Um, I've had plenty of, I done some EVPs actually back then, and there was one man, it was creepy sounding, said, "Tonya, damned."
Oh no.
Like yeah,
Oh no,
that was
that's not.
scary.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Mhm.
That's totally not cool. Um, yeah, I really dealing with the Bigfoot. I strictly deal with them. I don't mess with the other things.
Mhm.
I it's just it's overwhelming, and and it's especially with what was the guy's name? He really got some good pictures. He passed away.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I forgot his name. He was real big in Bigfoot. Some of the people listening probably Scott Carpenter. Scott, he had some good stuff, and Scott passed away, and he was a researcher. And before Scott, there was another lady, and she was in the Bigfoot groups. Real nice lady. Buddy of mine. She passed away. That was the woman. I don't know if you have remember the story. She actually was on television, but her and her daughter saw Bigfoot in the trees. I think they were like out in California. Um,
Mhm.
that was crazy. And she passed away. And then another Bigfoot researcher uh had passed away. But this wasn't like, we've had Bigfoot researchers like the older men and older women who've passed away just from old age. But these people, from their videos and their pictures, would always have like either strange entities or aliens or things like that. So I always wondered if that was like a warning to us to be careful what we deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Because and I just wondered, like all these people passed away, and Scott passed away so soon,
That's
so fast.
weird, ain't it?
hmm And I think he was like the third researcher that had that kind of Bigfoot alien such and such connection. So I I like Bigfoot researching, but I have to be honest, not knowing what they are, where they're from. We everybody has a speculation because nobody really knows. We don't have a definitive book. Um, like where they come from. Are they part alien? Or are they genetically created by the alien? Uh,
That I don't know.
right. Are they? I mean, I'm figuring that they have to be created by God, but are they?
Mhm.
But then again, are they? the whole big thing with the Nephilim thing. Are they demon, or are they demonic, or are
No,
they, you know?
they're not demons.
Right.
Because, like I said earlier, when I was touched, and felt the pure love, strong feeling of pure love, and
Mhm.
that's how I know they're not demons.
Right. And that's true too. I've heard that when you get touched by an angel, excuse the pun from the TV show, when you get touched by an angel, usually do you feel it's like a pure love type thing.
Mhm.
So that's a good note. Because I'm certainly hoping, especially with me fooling around with them, messing around in the woods and everything, that they're, um, of something positive. Let's put it that way. I just hope
Mm.
whatever they are, that they're positive. Um, do you, uh, well, I guess really you don't, and being a female researcher, uh, I guess you really don't have too many problems, do you? From what it seems like it doesn't. I mean, not with them, but it doesn't. Do you have any problem with like men saying anything? Because I guess men are pretty cool now with women researchers.
Well,
I don't.
in groups, there's trolls. I call them trolls.
Right. Right.
And there's men that's just flat out rude, es-
Mm.
even to women. And they'll pick on you in groups and to make them look. They think that'll make them look good, but it don't. It
Right.
really should. I mean, this is the way I look at it with those people.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if they bully people online in the groups? Can you imagine how their home life is? I mean, their family must get abused too. Like if they're married, they might be women beaters. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing, kind of, but that's the feeling I get. That they're just abusive. To attack a
Mm.
woman, like I used
Right.
to get attacked many years ago when I had a Facebook group.
Mhm.
To attack a woman, it's pathetic. I mean, there's just I don't have nothing good to say about it. That I would get
Under
attacked, and I it got so bad because they was making fun because of I would show my screenshots
Mhm.
from the park, and they didn't call me a hoaxer, but one time, but
Mm.
they would just I actually had to shut the group down.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I did. I shut my group down. I had an active group,
Mhm.
and I had to delete it because it
Oh.
got that bad. Back then, it don't happen now.
Mhm.
Of course, I don't go in the groups anymore, but
Mhm.
not much.
Okay.
But no, I don't have any problem with people attacking me now.
Right. Some people, they come to me and they get upset, or they don't post their stuff anymore because they're tired of the hagglers or whatever. And I
They
just tell
they
go ahead.
actually went as far as they had their troll group, I call it,
Mhm.
and they posted a picture of me making fun of me and my 8-year-old or 7-year-old, I forgot what, but my son. They
Mhm.
posted a picture of him. They got him off my Facebook, posted the pictures in the group, and made fun of my son, made fun of me, and that was taking it too far. That's when I
Right.
deleted my group. That was it. That was the last straw.
Mhm. I
To
understand. Yeah.
post a to post a child, I don't care what they thought of me, but
Right.
to post a child's picture and make fun,
Mhm.
that is just totally wrong.
Right.
That was how bad I got bullied.
Mhm. No, I totally understand, and that is foul. That's foul. You shouldn't, even if you do the adults, that's different. But when you start, don't involve the child. It's especially because you don't know that child. That might be their hobby, the thing that they love to do, and if the child finds out, that could really hurt them or
It
break their
will,
hearts.
yeah.
Right. So that's totally not cool.
I'm
But you
not the
get
only oh, go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
no. It's fine. It's okay. Speak.
Go ahead. I don't mean I feel so bad because I interrupted you.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's okay. We're just talking. Um, but I tell people, once you put yourself out there like that, and it happens. It happens to us all. But these troll people, you get people. Sometimes it's a fact. Sometimes it's several different factors. Like you have the ones who these trolls who are buttholes, and either they a lot of it comes from jealousy, because they don't get that kind of action. Whatever they're doing, if they're really researchers, a lot of them don't get that kind of action. They have to BS about the action they're getting, and then they turn into trolls because they're jealous and they're hurt. They're like, well, I can't get action like that other person.
I really
But
didn't know what the problem was
a
after
lot of it just stems. It comes from jealousy. Um, They don't wanna see anybody else doing well in their research because they're not. You get some now you get the real buttholes, the ones I don't like. Those are the ones who do get some action, but they don't think your action is reputable. Um,
I'm not the
those are the
only
buttholes I really
researcher
dislike.
that it
It's fine.
happened again. I'm not the only researcher that I've noticed online that has been attacked that bad. There was one guy that was a good researcher,
Mhm,
and he posted some terrific evidence.
mhm,
And these people, the trolls, attacked him and his family members by talking about him in groups, his whole family, his wife and kids. So I'm not the only one that's went through that.
No, you're not. No, it it happens to, especially if your person is active and you are putting stuff out there, posting stuff, you'll always have a troll or two. You can't be trollless. You'll always have a certain butthole out there that's like, well, this isn't such and such, or I don't believe it. And a lot of times you have the ones who don't really understand the lore, the legend, the folklore, or the real things that go on behind Bigfoot, Dogman, UFOs, aliens, where they're like, "Well, if I don't see a solid picture of one, then it's not real." It and I can understand that fact because I remember when when I started and I would see the pictures, but I'm different because I'm polite and I believe in, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. Um, but I would see pictures, that were, because one guy actually, he was really nice. It's a guy, when I first started Bigfoot, and he gave me a USD. How you say it, USB port. He said, "These are my pictures of Bigfoot on my property." He said, "I will give this to you, but you can never share them from anybody. If you share them, then I'll get the USB stick back from you." I said,
Yeah.
"Okay, that's fine." And I was putting it in there. He said, "These are great. They're fantastic, and you will see Bigfoot." And I put it in there, and I was expecting to see flesh and blood, 100% Bigfoot patty walking, but it wasn't. It was ghost-like images. And at that time, I was like, "Wait a second, what is this?" I was like, I was kind of upset. But as I learned more, a lot of times that's what you will get. You will get these ghost-like images. You won't always get 100% patty or anything like that. Sometimes, some people get lucky and get it. But a lot of times you get ghost-like images. I talked to another lady too. She had a situation like yours where she had the Bigfoot, uh, the UFO and the aliens on her property. Well, not the UFO, but she did have the aliens and the dog man. And she actually had a Bigfoot and dog man that, well, how do you say it? I guess it we couldn't figure out which one it was, but she said it was a Bigfoot, but I can't remember if the Bigfoot was male and the dog man was female or vice versa. Probably I'd put, if I had to put money on it, I'd say the Bigfoot was male because it's just more massive. Probably
Mhm.
the dog man or dog woman was female, but they had a child, and that child was on the property. They said the child looked like a combination, but also looked like a little pretty girl. So, she had, and I guess it appeared like ghosts because she did show me a picture, but it was actually the alien was on her porch or whatever, which, and it was a good picture, but it wasn't the it was more ghost-like, but it wasn't like, like Close Encounters or something you would see on television or sci-fi movie. But anyway, back to the point. Yeah, the trollers don't pay any mind. I post stuff. I've been posting stuff for years, and yeah, sometimes you get that person out there, but a lot of it just, you just have to remember, a lot of it comes from jealousy, and then also another thing, fear too. some people that don't want to know. Like I have a friend, he's a and it's real weird. Like he's I don't want to say that on him. He's a butthole. I'll just say it like, but I want to say the A word because he really is a hole. But he's a friend of mine. We grew up together, but he's so scared of the Bigfoot thing that he'll joke it. And you get people like that too, not just, and that's some of the trolls are like that, where they're so scared of the paranormal or the thing they don't want to know. They don't want to believe that these things are out there. And some of them have had the experience themselves, but they, you know what I mean? They try to push it
Mhm.
away or joke it or put people because he'll try to say something negative or whatever, and usually just put him in his place or whatever. He lives right around the corner, so I just go to the house
Yeah.
and cuss him out. Um, but he's like that, and a lot of trolls are like that, where some of it's just ignorance, some of it's because they're buttholes, and then other times it's because they're frightened, they're scared. They're like, "Well, I don't want to believe in this, so I'm just gonna put down anybody that believes in it." And there's people like that, not just in the Bigfoot realm, but people in the realm of whatever it is. But they don't want to
Mhm.
believe in these things because it causes them to have to face a whole different reality. They have to accept something they don't want to accept. They have to accept something that
Right.
scares the hell out of them. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No,
Uh,
you're right. You're totally right on that.
yeah. Um, do you feel that what do you think? Well, let me ask you this. Hearing, I don't know if you do or don't, but hearing about the history of like Bigfoot in particular, and the historical aspects and things like that, do you believe like kind of like, okay, well, I can believe that, like things that have happened in the history with Bigfoot and the wild things they do and things like that. Can dealing with them as you do, do you feel that a lot of those things are historical facts or could be, if because obviously we weren't around, we weren't born yet, but like, do you feel that those things are feasible, true? Like, what was that thing? What was the Bigfoot Canyon thing where he attacked the
Where
cabin or
they
something?
was throwing rocks and harassing the workers, mine workers, I think it was, or something. They was
Right,
harassing them outside the cabin, throwing rocks and, making noises and all that. They
right,
basically got attacked, but,
right.
uh,
And
I think that was true. I
okay,
believe that. But there's some stories I don't, and it
okay.
just don't resonate with me.
Mhm.
So some of it's true and some not,
Do
I
you
guess. I mean, I'm guessing.
do you have one of the stories that seem too far out? Do you remember any of
Oh,
those?
yeah, there's one comes to mind. Years ago, I read a story, it was called the area was called it was a park, I think,
Mhm,
down south on the eastern part of the United States. There was 2 teenagers camping at the Puzzle Creek campground. I guess the Puzzle Creek was the name of the park,
mhm,
and something people seen it happen. This is scary, but people seen it happen that they packed a Sasquatch packed, 2 teenagers off, and, they found the blood tracks of the bleeding teenagers, or it could be the Sasquatch bleeding, but they found a blood track and it stopped, but they never was found. They there was news articles about this in the papers.
mhm,
This is kind of historic. This probably happened in the early 2000s or
mhm,
mid 2000s. Um, I'm guessing, but
mhm.
it was Puzzle Creek. That was the name of it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
And you probably can find something about it on online.
okay. And it's from your state?
No, it was down south of me, like around Georgia, I'm thinking South Carolina, something like that. I'm not sure, but it was south of me, of Kentucky.
Okay, okay. And they were say what was it? It was supposed to be like a Bigfoot attack or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what the people that witnessed it said.
Mm. Pezzle Creek, Bigfoot, Pezzle Creek, Georgia.
I'm guessing Georgia. I don't remember what state,
Mhm.
but I just know that it was down south on the eastern part of the United States.
Okay. So they were claiming that now this wasn't the hold up. I don't think it's the one I'm thinking about. This wasn't the one where it supposedly messed with the campsite, was it?
We had done that too. Um, I think I read about the messing with the campsite,
Right now.
but this thing actually come out of the wood line and took grabbed the boys and
Oh no.
carried packed them off. Never seen again after that.
Mm.
The boys wasn't seen. They disappeared.
Mm.
Now that's a scary. I mean, when I read it out, that's why it come to mind first thing. That was probably one of the scariest stories I've ever read.
Because I mean, and if you think about it, it's like I mean, it doesn't. I guess because I haven't encountered a hostile one yet. Um, Fortunately, I guess ours are a little, I guess they're a little bit more friendlier up here. But uh, that is one thing that is kind of crazy to think because of the Bigfoot being so massive. It is like I
Mm.
mean, if they're having a bad day or they decide, hey, they just throw you over their shoulder, like a
Well,
like
the
a.
I think it said, that they were being loud, the teenagers was, and maybe they annoyed it,
Mhm,
possibly.
mhm. Yeah, because I mean, they can probably get aggravated,
I
pretty
really
quick.
don't like saying it, calling them it. They're people.
Mhm.
Um, I don't like putting a name on them, really. I mean, nobody knows what they really are. I mean, I don't know for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I mean, I guess they get aggressive at times. I mean, and well, there's another one in Kentucky. This family was camping, and a dog man supposedly come in there and slaughtered them, and the little girl was up in a tree, blood dripping.
Was that the, yeah, that's a, LBL, Land Between
Yeah,
the Lakes?
ran
Yeah, yeah,
between the
yeah,
legs.
that's a big one. I'd love to see a documentary, like, on TV about that because,
On YouTube, there's some stuff about it.
oh, yeah, they're constantly running. I think I belong to a LBL group, as a matter of fact, and they're really heavy into that. I love to go there, though, like, really, I'd love to go there. But yeah, it's a real big thing about the LBL and the little girl. I think the little girl got hurt too, or are you saying she was an eyewitness?
She was dead in a tree, up high
Oh,
in a tree.
okay. Um, yeah, the whole family was messed up, but
The the
I'm
blood was dropping on the police officer's head or hat,
mhm,
from what I read, and that's how and they looked up and seen her, and she was dead. The whole
yeah,
family was killed.
yeah. I'd love to like get a hold of police records or something and really check it out. Like I always wondered about it. Like was it a real slaughter from a dog man? Could have just been a crazy serial killer? Could it have not happened and somebody pieced together fantasy? I always wondered because certain things, in our paranormal community, as you know, it's certain things are hard to prove. And I always wondered though, but I love to go to LBL and just talk to some
I heard
people,
it's
whatever.
very beautiful down there, but I would not wanna go there and camp out.
I hear you. I hear you. Um I guess, well, I'd camp there. I just should plead the blood of Jesus, I guess, if I was camping by myself. But
Mm-mm, then there ain't no way I'd go down there and camp.
right, totally understand. Um, yeah, that's something though. Would you go there if like it was a whole group? Like if it was a whole group of people, would you go to LBL?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would rather stay in a cabin
Hmm.
and not tent camp near a wood line. I mean,
Hmm.
no, there ain't no way. Just a
A
cabin,
nice.
a group of people. Yeah.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Um, let's see. I'm thinking. So, could you have you been able to see the Bigfoot where you could describe it, or was it mainly because a lot of times it was? I know you had the daytime sighting, but obviously it was maybe perhaps too dark or was absorbing light.
No, it was like
Ar-
4 or 5 in the evening, and it was daylight.
Right. Um,
It wasn't massive made, it was more lean looking, kinda skinny,
like a
tall.
basketball player.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Some of them come like that. They're real tall and lanky. Um.
they
Do,
all have different looks about them. 'Em, they're like people, they have different looks about them. 'Em, they're not all look like Patty.
right. Right. Definitely. They come. They come in different, like us, because like they're a form of people.
Yeah,
So they have different looks. They probably have different genetics from their lineage, their family. Some look more human, some look more animal.
right,
Some look more
yeah.
ape-like. Yeah. Um, Let me see. How would you feel like if there was a girl group that wanted to team up with you and say, "Hey, let's go out." Would you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Um, have you been able to see one where you could describe it, or has it been mostly more like that kind of darkness around it? Like, okay, well, there's one, I see it, but I can't really see what I need to see. But I know there's the figure, there's the body. Hey, it's tall, massive.
I don't think I've ever seen one close up where I could see their face.
Okay, that's
Um, I've heard them really close to me, like touching me, and I mean, really close.
yeah.
But I never got a good look of one in the face, a close encounter.
Mhm. It's kind of creepy, when they're close to the house and you hear them crunching the leaves. I've had that
Yeah.
happen, right? And you hear 'em walking, you're like, "Oh," and, like you say with the house, I did, and it's funny you brought that up. I did actually have I've heard the whimpering.
Mhm.
I've heard that. I just started getting that in the backyard with the whimpering, but I said, "Well, maybe it's just a fox or something," or something. But I heard the whimpering. I was like, "Oh, shoot, what is that?" I didn't think anything of it, but I heard the whimpering.
I don't if I
Oh,
hear a noise, I don't automatically think Sasquatch, dog man.
right. Right, right,
I try to rule out all possibilities of what it could be,
right,
so
right.
I don't just jump to conclusions.
Mhm. Yeah, I that's how I am first. I try to kinda, you know
Rule things out,
right,
first.
exactly.
Logical explanations, basically.
Yeah. Um, how I'm trying to think. How do you feel about do you think that, like, if somebody said, "Okay, well, look, we're gonna give you $1,000,000, or we're going to give you not. Let's just say we're going to give you $900. Tell us what you think they are. Um, w- do you have an idea? Do you ever sit and think like, this is kind of what I feel that they are. Like, what's your opinion of what they are? This
Usually,
Bigfoot.
this is the first time I think I've ever really said, "Yes, they're what whatever," but, I think here in the last it's recent, I think I've seen people talk about it,
Mhm,
but I think they're ETs.
mhm. Okay.
I
Do,
really
do
do.
do you think that they're when you say ETs, do you feel that they're like perhaps that like there was some type of alien that said, okay, well, we're going to fuse a man with a primate, and then they created them from there, or like, do you
Well,
feel that?
think of it like this, okay, they're hairy,
Mhm,
massive, strong, all
mhm,
kinds of things,
mhm,
and that is the perfect they can adapt to weather here,
mhm,
and, I think, they was made to withstand the weather, the cold weather, the hot weather, all that. I do know they go in caves, and the caves stay the same temperature, around 60 60 to 70 degrees,
mhm,
around 60 actually. It's kinda cool, um, but I think, I'm pretty sure they go in caves.
mhm,
Because at the state park I go to, there's a lot of caves there,
mhm.
and that's why I think they called that home because of the caves.
No, I've
They
heard
say
that. Mhm. I heard this saying cases. Do do you think I wonder like do you think they're like the aliens put them here and said, okay, look, let's do an experiment and just see
mhm,
how
yeah,
you all
I
do
do.
okay in this environment. Okay, this environment. Okay,
I
because I
mean, I
do.
don't that's the first time I've ever come out and said that in public.
Well, and you know what? It's good that you do because there are people that do. I mean, and also I was even thinking about it because when I first started, I was very skeptical, but still because I'm open minded. Because I actually had a ghost experience years ago. I don't deal with ghosts. I don't mess around with ghosts. People that know me know I don't mess with. I'll do the Bigfoot thing, the dogman thing. I don't mess with no ghosts. But anyway, I guess that made me prepared more for the Bigfoot dogman thing. But anyway, uh, when I started, I was called to investigate a lady's property, and that's when I really got to see, and like she had these things all over her property. Uh, she had the children and all this stuff, and they were just all over the place. They'd leave the kids, the baby Bigfoot would leave a footprint, and he'd leave a scat. Like,
Mhm,
they kinda had a fun, I guess, when they had company, when they knew people were up there, but anyway, that was freaking me out because I wasn't used to it and I was skeptical, but like I said before, I would always be open-minded even before I started researching. I would never put anybody down for that belief because I didn't know. But I just didn't know that you would see something like most people think, well, if it's a Bigfoot, then it's Patty and it's out in Pacific Northwest and that's it. They don't understand that
mhm.
these things
A
come in
lot of
different
people
forms.
think that.
Right, and they think of that image that you see in the patty, they don't understand.
They
They're all
think
over the
every
place.
Sasquatch looks like Patty.
Right, and when I started, I was like, "Well, I don't see no patty around here," but then I started to get the action, to hear the crunching, and see the scat and the baby footprint, Bigfoot friends with the big toe and all that and stuff like that, so
They those people that think, that they're not thinking outside the box. When you do this research,
right,
you gotta think outside the box,
right,
and
and
they
that's what I
don't do
learned.
that. They're closed-minded, sort of.
Mhm,
They
and that's right.
they've seen pictures, or they've not really seen pictures of different, researchers posting in groups and all that. They've not really seen they call it what how is it pronounced?
Which
Para Fidelia, I
Oh,
can't.
oh, pareidolia.
Yeah,
Pareidolia.
they call it
Yeah,
that.
yeah, pareidolia.
Whenever researchers post stuff, you just see a black,
Mhm,
a clear as day black furry thing, but like a massive ball or something.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Now
and
you
they
now you
call it that. Go ahead.
now you do have some now. I had a buddy of mine. She did have terrible pareidolia. Like I'd stand right there with her at some trees, and she'd be like, "There's one right there," and I'm like, "Well, that I don't want to say her name. I just say, hey, friend or buddy, that's a bush," and she stand right. I mean, her pareidolia was terrible. It was just terrible. But we were friends, and I just, you know, I didn't really press the issue. Sometimes I would say something, and sometimes I say, "Oh, okay," and I just stand there and stare at the bush with, it'd be a bush. Some people do have
Mhm.
terrible pareidolia, but so that comes along with it. That's all the excitement and fun, I guess, and the research of researching Bigfoot, dogman, aliens, and UFOs.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So uh, I think I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much covered. Well, let me ask you this: Was there? Did you ever have a nighttime experience besides that other one? Was there ever a second one that kind of freaked you out where you
Which
had a?
what exactly? Because I've had
Or
different
you've had a
encounters
lot.
before.
With a Bigfoot or Dogman, was there ever another nighttime situation you had where it kind of freaked you out or spooked you, or
Oh, yeah,
saw one? Or,
the dog man, they scare me.
mhm,
Um, I went in my bathroom at night. It was late one time, and I there was just a wall and then a window there. That was the only thing between us,
mhm,
and I was growled at viciously, like, "I'll kill you, vicious."
mhm,
And I ran out of the bathroom. I mean, that's the fastest I've ran in since I've been little kid, probably.
mhm,
That scared me really bad. And how I know that it was a dog man is because they growl at me,
mhm.
uh, and I can tell the difference between the noises they make, whether it's Sasquatch or dog man.
Mhm,
And I got used to their noises, and I know that dog men growl at me, and that's how I knew that it had to be dog men.
mhm. Yeah, that's strange though. I guess how did you feel? Were you like, well, why are you growling at me?
I
I don't
know I
cause
was
you all that trouble.
terrified. I was terrified.
Right, right. But I'm saying, was there a question in your mind like, why are you all growling at me? I don't cause you
Oh,
all of this
yeah,
trouble. Mhm,
of course, I still wonder that, but they sound so vicious when they
mhm.
growl. I mean, extremely vicious, like, "I'll kill you" vicious around this house.
Well, I will tell you something positive about that. It's positive, but it's not positive. Think of when you're around a dog and they growl, and it's
Mhm.
nothing personal. It's just their nature. So perhaps they're growling for more of a nature aspect, or maybe it's something around them, or something they fear, or because they fear
I
man.
thought that,
Maybe not. Or
but
maybe it's not personal. It might not be personal towards
who knows really, I don't.
you. Hmm.
I took it as, "I don't like you,"
Hmm. Well, with
but
that good
now
voice
I
of
think,
yours, you
"You're
could go you could go out there with the what do you call it, the karaoke mic, and just talk, and you could put them to sleep because your voice is so soothing.
I never heard anybody tell me that actually.
Yeah, and it might be one of your hidden talents to deal with them. Maybe if you talk to them
I
more,
always talk this way,
and it's
calm,
soothing.
like, yeah. Maybe that's why they're comfortable with me, I don't know.
Hmm. So we could have a Facebook group where you could help people to relax with your voice. You don't need to have a Bigfoot group. You have a Facebook or YouTube. Well, I should say YouTube, not
Maybe I
YouTube.
need to start a podcast and ask
Right,
questions.
right, right. But yeah, so All right, Tanya. I think we've covered. I think we got a lot of good stuff, and I'm glad you and I finally caught up, and we finally got the system working because you know how it was with us trying to get
Oh,
together,
yeah.
and between my system acting up or your phone or your area, it was crazy. But anyway, uh, it's great. It's good. It's a blessing that the system's working tonight. I'm glad, and everything's nice and clear. It sounds good.
Yeah,
Um,
it does. You're clear. As before,
right.
I couldn't hear you good.
Yeah, because it's with the platform. I don't know. I don't know if sometimes they try to make things difficult because they want you to upgrade. Because a lot now, with the apps and everything, everything's about upgrading. They'll get you in, and then they want more and more financing or more money. So I don't know. Maybe I thought maybe this platform was screwing me up on purpose because I wasn't upgrading.
Mhm. It
But
was
maybe,
me. It must have been my side.
mm, or maybe the UFOs didn't want us talking at that time.
Yeah, they're interrupting or something.
Messing
I
us
don't know. It's
up.
that's crazy. Yeah.
All right. All
It's
right. Well,
thank you for having me, though.
oh, no problem. Thank you for coming. And it's great. It's great. Yeah, but we'll definitely um keep in touch. And you got my number if you have any more action adventure situations. Let me know. And also we have it's a crew of us. So if you ever say, well, hey, come on out here, help me research, so you don't have to be by yourself. We'll come out. We'll do that. Um, so that's up to you. But other than that, thank you. And I'm gonna end the show. You know what? I'm right. I'm gonna end the show with you because it was something actually I had some information I wanted to read. But I'm not gonna hold you. Uh, so you have a good evening, and thank you again for showing up. And check out Bigfoot TV, because when I was trying to search for something else you told me, actually this Bigfoot TV popped up by accident. So um check that out. And not just you, Tanya, but the people listening. Um looks kind of fun, kind of cool. But anyway, so Tanya, thank you. Thank you again. And everybody, Tonya Ashton, female Bigfoot researcher. She's definitely got some wild stuff going on. So Tanya, you have a good night. All right. Let's see. I had some information I wanted to read to you all. Here's the um. Let me see. All right. Well, I might do this on the next episode. Anyway, um, thank you everybody for coming and listening. Um, and make sure you all, excuse me, like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Um, and if anybody wants to co-host, because I need a co-host and I need an editor, please let me know. Uh, Other than that, everybody, thank you for coming to another episode of Into the Night Bigfoot Paranormal Talk Radio. God bless.